Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack the code that makes you, well, you. We're diving into the basics of genetics, figuring out how you inherit traits, and finally clearing up the confusion between a gene and an allele.
So, have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered, where did I get my mom's eyes? Or how did I end up with my dad's smile? That simple question, that's actually the very heart of genetics. Right, so this whole passing down of features or traits, as they're called, is what genetics is all about. And it's not just about us humans. It's the study of how characteristics get passed from one generation to the next in all living things. I mean, just look at these puppies. They've got the same mom and dad, but they all look a little different, right? That's because they're inheriting traits not just from their parents, but from their grandparents too. It's kind of like a genetic lottery, which is why you see so much variety even in a single family. Okay, to really get how this all works, we have to zoom in. I mean, way, way in. We're going to take a little journey from what you see in the mirror all the way down to the molecular blueprint of life itself. So our journey starts right here, with the cell. Your body is made of trillions, trillions of these tiny little things. They're the fundamental building blocks for everything. And inside almost every one of those cells, you'll find the nucleus. Think of it like the main office, the headquarters. This is where the master plan for your entire body is kept locked away. Now, inside that nucleus, the information is organized into these tightly coiled structures we call chromosomes. If the nucleus is the library, then you can think of chromosomes as the individual books on the shelves. It's just a really neat way to package everything up. And what are those books written in? Well, that would be DNA. Each one of those chromosomes is basically one long, wound-up molecule of DNA. This is it, the famous double helix. It's the actual code of life. With every single instruction, a cell needs to do its job. So if DNA is this enormous instruction manual, then what are the actual instructions? How do we get from this long, spirally molecule to something specific like your hair color? Well, that's what a gene is. It's just a specific section of that DNA code that has the instructions for one particular trait. So you've got a gene for eye color, a gene for hair color, thousands of them, each one a little recipe for a tiny piece of you. All right, this is where things get really interesting. And honestly, we're going to clear up something that trips a lot of people up. You've heard of genes, but you've probably also heard of alleles. So, what's the difference? It's actually pretty simple. While the gene is the instruction for a trait, an allele is the specific version of that instruction. Think of it like a different flavor or a variety of the exact same gene. Here's a fantastic way to think about it. If the gene is Coca-Cola, then the alleles are all the different options you can get. Diet, classic, caffeine-free, cherry, you name it. They're all still Coca-Cola, right? Just different variations of it. And this chart lays it out perfectly. You've got one gene for the trait eye color, but you've got different alleles that give you the variations, blue, brown, or green. Same deal for hair color, one gene, but multiple alleles for blonde, brown, or red. So let's just say that one more time because it's the crucial point. The gene is the category, like what color are the eyes? And the allele is the specific answer, like blue. Okay, so if we get alleles from both of our parents, how does our body decide which one actually shows up? I mean, why might you have brown eyes, even if one of your parents has blue eyes? Well, it all starts with this number, 46. That's how many chromosomes most of us have, and we get them in 23 pairs. You get a set of 23 from your mom and the other 23 from your dad. So because they come in pairs, you actually end up with 2 alleles for every single gene, one from each parent. And this is where the decision gets made. Some alleles are what we call dominant. They're kind of bossy. You only need one copy of that allele for the trait to show up. Brown eyes, for example, are dominant. Other alleles are recessive. They're a bit more shy. A recessive trait like blue eyes will only show up if you inherit 2 copies of that allele, one from each parent. And that's how a trait can seem to skip a generation. Okay, we've gone from your reflection in the mirror all the way down to the nitty-gritty of your DNA. So let's zoom back out now and put this whole big picture together. So there you have it. From the traits you can see every day down to the DNA tucked away in your cells, it's really all a story about genes and their different versions, the alleles. You get the genes, the categories from your parents, but it's that totally unique combination of their alleles that makes you, well, you. And that unique combination is exactly what makes you genetically one of a kind. It's this perfect blend of your family's entire history, all written in a code that is completely and wonderfully your own. It's the reason you look like you.